Hello everybody. I'm a few minutes late. I'm so sorry. I've been trying to figure out that deal. I've got the thing going on again today where as soon as I, use something that is lighter colored on my desktop, it is just, blowing everything out. It's like so blinding white. So I don't know what the deal is, but anyway, we're here. We're going to go on. I'll probably dim my lights down a little bit so it's not such a harsh glare on the workspace. But we are going to do another paper lantern today. And remember, I told you that there are printed vellum papers, and we're going to use some of that today. We're going to make the top a little bit more sturdy, so in case you wanted to punch a couple of holes in opposite sides, you could even use it and hang it up if you wanted to. But otherwise, it would make, a great something to add to to your table decor, or just set over on a side table. And you can either, and another thing might be fun is to actually use a patterned cardstock for the outside edges of the box. But anyway, I'm going to put us down here to the workspace, and let's see what in the world we can figure out about this, you guys. I just have no idea why it does this, and I wish I did, because I sure don't like it. I have no idea what happens and why it does this. Hopefully a lot of what we're going to do won't be so glaring. Or you know what, let me grab my other paper trimmer. I think we did this the other day and it wasn't quite so bad, so let's just go back to using this one. And wish me luck on sometime being able to figure out what the problem is with the other thing we've got going on. Okay, so today we're going to take our cardstock, and I've got this pretty color. It's kind of got a shimmer to it as well. I think you can see that's not just the light. It does have a little bit of a shimmer to it. And so we're going to cut this down, and we want our piece to be, we want the side that is the easiest to fold, so that our fold lines in our lantern are going up and down this way. And on that direction, we want that to be 11 and a half inches. So I'm going to bring this over here and bump it up, make sure I've got it straight. And another tip is, when you're doing things with these lines that are on here, you can better line it up and make sure your cut is going to be straight if you use those as a guideline as well, right? Tell me hello when you come in. I'd like to know who's here. If you're watching the replay, just put in #replay if you're not seeing the little red live button above. Okay, and so on the other direction, we want the other side to be 11 3/4. So we're going to just take off 1/4 of an inch, and that's it. We're going to make this a little bit different than we did yesterday. And the way that we did it yesterday would work just fine, but I want this to be a little bit different. Okay, now I'm going to have to get out my paper trimmer, not trimmer, my scoreboard here. Okay, so this is my long ways, and what I'm going to do is I am first going to turn it this way, to where this is my 11 and a half inches going this way, okay? And I'm going to score that at 2 3/4 on the bottom, because that's how big our sections are going to be for our the little parts of the lantern, okay? So we've got that there, and I'm going to go ahead and oh my goodness, now I'm flip-flopping. This is what's nice about the one that's got both the paper trimmer and the scoring tool together. Okay, so now we've turned it, and this is our 11 and a half inch side again. And so here's our score down here. So now we're going to score it at 1/2 inch And I'm just going to take this one all the way down. So 1/2 inch, 3 1/4. And this time, I'm just going to still go all the way through. We're going to use those as guidelines where to cut. And 6 inches all the way down, and 8 3/4. Okay. Oh, one more. With my new method, I got one more to do. Turn it back around here and score at 7/8 of an, or wow, that is going to be close. Let's just go ahead and score it at 1 inch. Okay. And I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to score the 1 inch on the other side because it's going to be turned inside. We're going to make a little edge and it's going to be inside. Hello, Giselle and Sue. Good morning. Well, it's probably not even, it's not morning probably. Not everybody's still morning. Okay, so now we've got our score lines. Okay, we're all good to go for that. And I think that's all the scoring that we need to do. So now we just need to start doing some snipping here. So I'm going to use, let's see. Oh, I tucked my, let me see. What happened to my, oh, there's another thing I need. Okay. Phew. Crisis averted. So now let's go ahead and for this one on our 1/2 inch side, we're going to go ahead and we're going to snip this here, do a little angle cut here. And for that, and here I've got is a little cheat sheet here. So this is how we're going to cut our little pieces, okay? So if you've got the, well, here, I'll turn it this way. So here's our little glue tab here, right? And so for our sections down here, the one that we want to be square is this one, okay? So let me grab some other scissors. And these can just have a little snipped out to make an angle, and it'll take a little bit of that bulk out and make it a little bit easier when we fold it. So this one too, just all the way up there to the that score line that was at 2 3/4. It doesn't matter. This isn't, you know, exact. Just make sure that you've snipped into the corner. If you don't quite get into that corner, don't pull it away. Don't jerk it and pull it. If it doesn't come off easy, you'll want to use like your craft knife or go in with your scissors to make sure that you're getting that. Okay, this is the one we want square. I am going to cut to that side on that square that I want to leave square. I'm going to cut right along, and I want to cut off the score line. So I don't want this piece to have score line on it. And then I'll go ahead and do another little angle cut right here. Okay. And you know, and the reason I wanted to go ahead and do another one of these and kind of work on it a little bit was yesterday. What did I do with the one I made? Well, you guys, I've set it off somewhere safe. Anyway, I did put a tiny bit of paper inside the top rim because it didn't look very good. And somebody had said these would be great to use like for a wedding. And I thought you could make a, you know, if you're doing a DIY wedding and you need something for some table decor, that would be a lot of fun to, you know, have something like that, right? And you could put it with flowers. You could put it with, you know, whatever you wanted to do it with. So on this one, again, we're going to trim on the inside of that score line. And then we're going to angle cut this one. And we'll just angle cut the other side as well. See, now don't pull on that. If it's not wanting to come out, because you can rip your paper and then have it not very pretty. You don't want to rip it and then just have a big chunk of, if you're using a a white core, which this is. You don't want all of that to look awful, right? Okay, and so now if this is the one that we want to have square, so here's our glue tab is on this side, and so on your straight edge you want it to be not the straight edge one but the second one in, okay? So hopefully that'll make it a little easier for you to remember. And then we're just going to take a couple of these and trim them a little bit, get some of that bulk out, maybe about half. There's no real science to this one, okay? All right, now then we need to go in here again and we're going to cut our little windows out. So you want to make sure that you're cutting. Usually it's best, the outside of my box is going to be this side, and so this is the side that I want to have up, and then we'll cut through that direction, okay? So our first cut is going to be at 1 1/8, and we're going to start down. This part is 1 inch. We want to do 1 inch window down from the top edge because this is going to be folded in. So here's actually where we're going to start our inch from, you know, that's going to be the box, and then 1 inch from the bottom, okay? So we're going to do, what did I say? 1 1/8. So we're making about, I can't remember how big I made the little sides. They're not very big. About 5/8 of an inch. That's why we've got some kind of funny measurements that we've got to do. Okay, so we're going to get this lined up at 1 1/8, and I'm going to start at 2 inches and then go down to 8. Okay, and then pick that up, move it over to 2 5/8, and that's going to give us our, we're going to only do these vertical cuts, and then we'll cut horizontally with our craft knife. So from 2 down to 8. We're just going to do that on each of these. So the next one is going to be 3 7/8. And I know, I wish that it was easier, like, you know, even numbers and all that good stuff, but you know, sometimes it's not. To get it how you want it, you got to be, you know, precise with the crazy measurements, right? Oh, it's rainy. You got a rainy day, huh? Oh my goodness. It's somewhat sunny here where we are. So I'm glad to have some sunshine. So 5 3/8. Let's see. Oh, there's 2. 5 3/8. Then I got to make sure I'm lining it up over here to make sure I keep it straight. So then we're going to cut from 2 to 8. So I've only got 4 more of these, you guys. The next one is at 6 5/8. Well, that's a tricky one in here. Goodness. I hope that's right. Yeah, that was right. Okay, and then 6 5/8. No, that was one I just did. So 8 1/8. Some of these get a little crazy, and this is the reason I really like to have like a whole thing that expands over here, because now I don't have any way to really look and make sure that my lines are super straight. I don't have anything to line them up with. So I really like having something to, you know, see on that side. Okay, and 9 3/8. So that's just 1 mark less than the half. And you guys, how many of you have ever seen any of the printed vellum? And then this one is going to be 10 7/8. How many of you have seen any of the printed vellums? Have you? I tell you, they make some really pretty things. The only thing is, all of them that I have, and I didn't have a single one. I thought I had something that would look more fall-like, and I really didn't. But I will be able to, you know, show you. So now we're just going to take our ruler and our finger blade here and just, except I want to make sure this one side has a metal edge, and I like to use that and bump it up across there. So I'm just gonna, let's see, you know, I wish I had, just gonna kind of try to really line it up so those are straight across the bottoms. Well, and I wanted it straight across the top too. Okay. You know what, I'm going to line this up on my craft mat here. And I think that'll help me. Like, maybe it will. I'm gonna try and get it in those lines. Except it's just gonna slide around, you guys. That would be a great idea if it would stay. Okay. And now I can put this right across here. There. Now if I just hold it tight, I think I'm good to go and get all of those even across there. I think that was worth the moment that it took me to get it lined up. Nope, and that one didn't come. That one didn't quite line up like I hoped. And remember, use your blade when you're doing these. I'm sorry, you just see the top of my head. Use your blade to cut any little corners, get it corner to corner so that you you're not tearing that paper when you release it. Now that one came out really easy. And we'll just do the other side. So we want these at 2 inches. I don't know, that really doesn't look like 2 inches on all of my spaces across. Okay, and then just get those cut across real quick. And then this is going to be the little windows for our little lights. And let's see, and I'm going to try and push those out. I don't want to pull them. I still got some places down here that didn't release. There we go. And if it's just barely hanging on, I would just kind of pull it to the back. That way you're not going to have any of the white tear marks. Okay, now then we're going to cut our vellum to go in. And our vellum, we're going to make bigger pieces this time because I want it to cover more of the edges side to side. Look at this. Look how pretty this vellum piece is, you guys. Isn't this a gorgeous piece? So now I want these pieces to be almost the size of my panels, but I don't want, they need to be just a tiny, a smidge bit smaller, okay? Because if we make them a tiny bit smaller, then we can, you know, have them almost come up to the score lines. And you guys, I played around with all kinds of I tried to do it so we could do it all in one piece and just lay it down and then fold it together. But you know, it's just not going to be the same size. And to do score marks that would be just that tiny, minute, you know, amount, you just really can't do that because it's such a small increment that our scoreboards just, you know, don't do that. And if it's not lined up, you're going to see it. It's going to, it'll pucker if it's too big. And then if it's too small, you know, you're going to have, it's going to show through the window and be goofy anyway. So I just decided to go with single pieces. And so these pieces are going to be, we're going to do them 2 5/8 because our panels are 2 3/4. So we're going to just do 1/8 of an inch less, you guys. And then we're going to have them, we only need four panels. And so we're going to do them 2 5/8 So that's just one mark over the half. Well, no, not if you've got 16ths. Okay, we're going to cut those, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut all 4 of these. So 2 5/8 for all of them. And if they're not exact, you know, they're just going to be inside and it'll be okay. So 2 5/8. And you know what? I tell you, if you wanted to, which I probably should have done, I could have cut my length off, and then I would have had those pieces, a longer strip on the bottom of my vellum to use for something else. A lot of times you got to really think ahead, so if you want some of your scraps left, you know, you've got them. Okay, and then this is going to be 7 5/8 this way. Okay, and just I'm going to trim those off, and you can see, I'll move this here. This is going to be for one of the panels right here. Well, that looks like it could have been a little bit longer, you guys. Maybe, did I not? I didn't measure it. I did not measure that. I did not do 2 7/8. I did 2 5/8. So that's okay. We'll do this one right. Or not. I did. We need 7 5/8. So it'll work. And kind of look at which part that you want to be in your, you know, your to be showing. Now it's gonna have edges, so not all of the part that we put on here is going to show. But we'll just make a little bit of a plan. But you guys, think how pretty that this would be too if you used a patterned cardstock. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put these inside and make sure to put the out, and it's got a right and a wrong side. See how this is the right side? So on the inside, this is the inside of the box. We're going to put them down in here like this. Okay, and I am going to use, I know you don't usually see me use this very often, but I'm just going to go ahead today and use, I got to remember which side I'm doing. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put some tape. Well, that's not working well. And I have to say that's user error. And I should have, as soon as I tape this one, I need to grab, let me see if my mat is down here, you guys. Now the top edge is going to be covered anyway. So only do the outer edge of that, and then, oh my goodness. Let me get my craft mat here. I don't want glue all over my tabletop. So I'm going to just use this while I put the glue on these. And we're going to put it on the front side. So remember that. That's going to be important that we put these on the front sides. And it doesn't, you know, this part, it's going to, the next part where we glue along the sides of the windows, that's probably going to be a little bit more important. Oh, I hope I didn't get that sticking into where it's going to be in the view, but I don't think so. And you can even run it a little bit off of the edge if you want, and that way you for sure don't have it too close to your window, right? And we're just going to put a little bit down. Okay, so we've got that on there. All 4 of those have got adhesive on them. I'm going to move them over here out of the way and move this off. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put tape along close to the edge here. And you wouldn't have to do it the whole length of it if you didn't want to. Just enough to make it stick nicely so that you've got it secured down the edges of that window. And this, now the way that we made it yesterday will certainly work, and there's nothing wrong with the way that we did that one. Okay. I'm anxious to see this one with this printed vellum, you guys. All right, so now I'm going to just start taking these and laying them down in here. And remember, just keep it away from the, keep it just that tiny bit out of from, oh, what am I trying to say, you guys? Hi, Christine. Keep it to the side of the score lines. Phew, that was difficult. Okay, so remember we've used the, and kind of check and see if there's a right, you know, like one way that you want for the top or the bottom. And because there is definitely a top and a bottom to our project. And I think that goes up. And these flowers do have kind of a direction to them as well. Okay, and our last one, because you know it's got these leaves, so I mean this is definitely going up. Okay, and then just this last one. Okay, and then just give them a good press so that you've got the sides of their windows pressed in. Okay, now we are going to take these. I hope I didn't get any of that showing through. No, I think it's good. Look, I think it's good, you guys. And now we're going to take our little snips again, and we are going to cut these. So we're going to cut at an angle here on our glue tab because we don't need that. And we are going to cut just to the side of this score line a tiny bit and just the tiniest angle. All right, and then on these we're going to do the same thing, just a teensy tiny little angle, because all we want to do is just get it to fold nice, but we want it to kind of still appear like it has you know, a solid band around the inside. But if you don't cut them like this, when you fold them to the inside, it's going to be a little difficult. So just the teeniest amount. One of them I did not get on the, and then we're going to check. We're going to check and make sure that it folds nice in 1 second. So just down to that top score mark on the 1 inch. Okay. And this is going to be our inside. And that one I probably got a little bit more than I wanted. But now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start to fold our things at our score lines. And we could have folded these up sooner than this. And then just give it a good fold here. Just be gentle so you don't have a problem, because these sections in between are not real big now at this point. And then our glue tab, and then we'll go ahead and give the bottom a fold up in here. Okay, and so this is the part we want to make sure that these fold, is that these are not, our top edges are not so tight that they won't, you know, fold. But we are going to go ahead and turn them down, and we're going to glue those, or use your adhesive, whatever you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and use glue. And so we're just going to glue that down and press it, and this will give it a nice finished look at the top. And that was one of the things I was thinking about, was because you can still see through the top of it. I mean, it's a closed top. And I was thinking, well, if the bottom looked nice, you could turn it upside down and the bottom could be the top, right? But no, then your lights and stuff, you're not going to have enough structure to keep it, very nice like that. I just decided that wasn't, the way I wanted that to work. So now we're going to put all these down. Just fold those down, and let me think about this one. And that glue, I use that reptile glue, and it catches pretty quick. You've got enough time that you've got that little bit of wiggle room. But see, this is, even though you can see the paper here, because it's the same color and it's that cardstock, that's not going to be really noticeable. And then when we close the box, it's not going to be bad. I got to think about this for 1 second. You guys, I want to go ahead and glue this down and then do that last fold, because I want it to cover this. So just bring this over here and fold that. This is the easiest way. And then you can make sure you've got it lined up and nice and flat and straight. Give it a little wiggle if you have to. And now I'm going to close this one inside. We'll close that in. And now we've got a nice band around the top. And it's sturdy. It actually has added more structure to this than we had before. And the nice thing about this is you've got enough right here now that if you wanted to hang this up, if you wanted to do some of these and hang them, you could punch holes in two opposite sides, and then you could use, whatever you wanted to be able to, hang them. And I think that those would be adorable. So now then on the bottom, now we've got our 2 trim sections, and I'm going to go ahead and get those and put some glue down. And I'm going to take the one that's angle cut and put it down first. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on it too. Get all my edges done. And then just fold those in. Okay. And now our last one is the one that we left to cover the whole bottom and give it a nice clean look on the bottom. Okay. And then just make sure that you line it up and get it all squared up. So then you've got some structure to that as well. Okay. Hey, Estella. Oh, isn't that vellum paper lovely? So now then we've got our, and this one we could have done, there were probably 2 of those that would have worked well to cover up after the fact. This one should have been as well, because now you can see the side of that. So I made a boo-boo on that one. But there we go. So let's put our lights in. Let's turn our little fairy lights on. And you could use some of those little electric tea lights to put down inside if you wanted to. Oh, that would be cute. And there we go. There we've got that, and it's sturdier and it has a nicer finished look. And so by extending that vellum, basically from one corner to the next, then that really turns out great. Let's turn some of our lights off and see what it looks like. Oh, where's my light doodad? Well, shoot. Well, I don't know where that is. Let's turn this one up. But see, look at that. You can see. And, you know, it's kind of hard. And, you know, it's got just a little bit of a decoration along here. Isn't that pretty? I hope you guys like that. And, you know, I didn't even think, but this is what I was saying about making sure that we put our adhesive along here. I only put it on the sides. And you can see there's a little bit of a gap right here. I mean, but it goes clear to the top. But it's not super tight. You could do that if you wanted to. But I just think that is so cute. And if you really had something that you wanted to, you know, do some decorating for, and you needed something, you know, that was really going to kind of jazz it up a little bit, I think this would be perfect. We've done our fair share of decorating for parties and trying to come up with a lot of, you know, things that look nice and look festive and, you know, were affordable. And so something like this, and these are just those little, the little fairy lights. You can get them everywhere, you guys. That one happened to be the kind that has the little stopper that, like, you could put it in a wine bottle. And I don't know, I have so many of those you wouldn't believe. I don't know how that happened, but, you know, it did. But anyway, thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you. Let's see, I will be back on my page here with the Take 5 Friday Friends, except this week we're having something special. It's the 1-year anniversary in Take 5, and we're kind of having potluck with the other presenters who have been on through the year as Take 5 was growing. And so we're kind of having, you know, potluck day on Friday. I think that's Friday, you guys. I'm sure it is. Let me look real quick. I don't want to tell you the wrong day. I was so bad this week, I didn't even, you know, put my schedule out for everybody. I've hardly known what I was doing. Well, I just have it that's Take 5. But I'm pretty sure that this is the day that we are having our, you know, just check it out later. I'll put it on here later. Or go over to Take 5. If you haven't joined the Take 5 group over on Facebook, that's a lot of fun too. You guys take care. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.